So let's get this going. So as everyone I'm sure is aware, we had a horrific incident a couple of months ago with the killing of Charlie Kirk. I think it's one of those things that I think everybody that was a part of it knows where they were when they heard the news. No one believed it. It's been absolutely insane, but what it's done is energize a portion of the population that I think we all had sort of written off. The college students, the Gen Zs, but I think they've really awakened in this combination of spiritual awakening and conservative principles coming together is making a huge difference. So for the rest of the evening, we're going to be talking about Turning Point. We have both arms of the organization here tonight. So Turning Point USA is the face you normally see. So they're the ones that are giving the information out. And then you have Turning Point Action, which is allowed to get involved in the election. So Gabe is our guy talking about that. But we're going to kick it off first with Turning Point USA and Edina.
Hello, everyone. If you're going to have to hear me talk again, because I was here, I think, last month, then I'm so sorry. I hope that I have something substantive to tell you. So my name is Edina Kovacs. I am the Turning Point USA field representative for Southern and Central Ohio. I have worked for Turning Point for over 2 years now. Prior to working for Turning Point, I did work for 2 other conservative nonprofits, and I graduated from The Ohio State University in 2022, so where I was a Turning Point USA member. So I'm going to talk about Turning Point USA, how it's different than Turning Point Action, as well as some of the groundwork that we've laid in this area of Ohio, because obviously, if you guys really don't care about what's happening in Oregon, you're in Ohio, Cincinnati to be exact, right? So you want to know what's happening here at home. So Turning Point USA is the organization that Charlie first founded. So the USA came first. USA is a nonprofit, therefore we are nonpartisan. So what that means is we don't endorse the GOP, although you can probably guess how most of us vote. We are conservative in ideology, though. So that means we believe in our constitutional God-given values and freedoms. We believe in preserving small government and all of that good stuff that I'm sure you guys agree with us with all. So, with that being said, we believe in the ideology. So we discuss political topics, controversial topics. So I always tell people nothing is too controversial for Turning Point USA to talk about. So we are on the college campuses discussing the very relevant issues that these college kids are facing, such as the trans phenomenon ideology that's being pushed on campuses, liberal leftist professors trying to flip students to their way of thinking, stuff like that. How we operate on college campuses is we start chapters. So chapters operate as clubs on college campuses. So when we start a club, they have meetings, so speakers do events on campus, that sort of thing. Now, want to let you guys know, not every club or chapter is welcome on their college campus. It's very common for these kids to have a lot of backlash. As a Turning Point USA employee, I've been doxxed, I've been spit on, and I've been threatened. And that is me being able to leave campus at the end of the day and go home to my fiance. That is not the students that have to stay and endure whatever is going on their campus. It lives with them 24/7. So if you see a Turning Point USA student, which you'll see 2 of them tonight, please commend them for their bravery, because it's a very hard thing to be doing on college campus today. With that being said, Gabe, I'm sure you'll get more into what Action does, but Action is the partisan arm of Turning Point. So they are allowed to advocate for the GOP. They are allowed to host all kinds of events, from phone banking to door knocking, rallying, etc. So Turning Point USA is the ideology and the grassroots movement, if you will, on the college campus. Action is the arm that kind of gets it to the elected officials, if that makes sense. With that being said, since Charlie's tragic assassination, we have grown tremendously in the state of Ohio. For the first time in history with Turning Point, we have over 50 college campus chapters in the state of Ohio. As you can imagine, I'm getting a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails, and a lot of texts. So if any of you have reached out to me in the past few weeks and I haven't responded, just send me a little reminder because it's a little tough right now for me to keep up. I will say Turning Point USA is bringing quite a lot of speakers to the state of Ohio as well. Ohio in the past, I think, as someone who's from Ohio, is kind of a flyover state, right? We've been a swing state in the past. Now we all kind of know how Ohio is going to vote every year. It's not a swing state like Pennsylvania that requires a lot of attention nationally. However, due to the great success that we've had here in Ohio, we have a lot of people coming to Ohio. So I would like to introduce two different Turning Point USA chapter leaders. Both are here based in Cincinnati. One is going to be the chapter president of Cincinnati State. The other is the chapter president of the University of Cincinnati. And not here because she is working very, very hard for midterms, is the chapter president of Xavier. So we have chapters at all three of those Cincinnati-based colleges. Katie, are you going first? Okay, so here's Katie.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you so much for having us. We are so excited to be here to get to talk about what we're doing and your place in that as community members. So like Edna said, my name is Katie Toepher. I'm originally from Youngstown, Ohio, so that's halfway between Cleveland and Pittsburgh. I am a sophomore student at the University of Cincinnati, and I'm the president of our Turning Point USA chapter. We have seen incredible, yes, I see in the back, go Bearcats. We have seen incredible growth. We went from having anywhere from 5 to 10 people at our meetings last year, and we just had our first meeting. We had 30 people. I have 86 people who say they want to be full-time members, and I send out emails to over 100 people every single week, and that's mainly students from our Cincinnati area who want to be a part of the Turning Point USA movement. We are growing. We had about 900 people, if I'm not mistaken, come for a vigil that we held for Charlie a few weeks after he was murdered. So we have so much community support. Our meetings are not just for students. We want community members to be there. If it's just a bunch of college kids, it's really lame. So we want you guys to show up. We want you to be there. We want to hear your opinions. We have open forums and discussions. At our first meeting, we had just talked about everything from immigration to the government shutdown to the peace agreement in Israel to ICE being on campus, just everything that we are dealing with as students right now, we talked about it, and we want your voice to be a part of that as well. So if you are in the Cincinnati area, our next meeting will be this Tuesday, the 28th at 6 p.m. How we structure our meetings at the University of Cincinnati, we have monthly general body meetings, and then we have bi-monthly training meetings. So for us, what that looks like is how do we put into action what we're talking about? So at this training meeting, we're going to be talking about bravery. How do you speak up for what you believe in your classes? How do you be bold when everyone around you is saying that you shouldn't be bold? So the first half of our meeting will be strategizing, talking about what we've done in the past as students and as adults and community members. And then the second half of that meeting, we'll be doing a Bible study where we will learn in Scripture how have we seen people of faith and our Lord instructing us to be bold. So those will be optional for our Turning Point USA members. Not everyone is interested in being in a Bible study, but that's something that I am passionate about as a leader. So that's what we'll be doing in our chapter. We would love for you guys to be a part of every single one of that. Upcoming on Monday, November 10th, Riley Gaines will be coming to the University of Cincinnati to speak. I know, right? We're so excited to host her again. She was here this time last year as well to speak, and that is also open to the community. So if you are interested in seeing Riley, which who isn't, right? You can come talk to me, talk to Edina, talk to Mackenzie at the end of this. We will help get you signed up, and the link to do that is also on your website, on the Restoring Liberty website. So any questions, come see me.
Where's the meeting on Tuesday?
On Tuesday, it will be on campus. It will be in Lindner Hall, which is the business school. So afterwards, I would love to talk with you and I can give you directions. So if you have any other questions, please, I would love to talk with each and every one of you after everything's over. So with that, I'll hand it over to Mackenzie and she'll talk about Cincinnati State.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mackenzie Alspach. I am the chapter president at Cincinnati State Technical and Community College. We are a two-year college, so I've been president for about a year now, and we have had somewhat interest in the past, but after Charlie's assassination, our interest has been ramped up incredibly. So we went from around 7 active members to becoming probably around 30 people that are interested in our club. What that means is that we need recognized student organization status, which means that we have to be recognized by the school in order to host meetings and do events, things that UC is already doing. So we are working on getting that approved by our school. Typically, the turnaround for that is relatively long, so we're waiting on that, and in the meantime, we're collaborating with UC on all the events. On a personal note, Turning Point and what you guys are doing here also is amazing. I'm so thankful to be a part of this. I grew up in Canada, and as many of you probably know, Canada is not a very conservative country, and they're very against what you guys stand for. So it's just heartwarming to see you guys out here in the community making an effort for the conservative movement. We would love to partner with you on anything. Right now, we are working with UC on the Riley Gaines event. We will keep you updated on any future events that we have at Turning Point at Cincy State. But yeah, if you want to get involved at all, please let me know. Again, talk to Katie or Edina or me about anything. And yeah, thank you guys for showing up because we really appreciate the support.
So do we have any questions? First of all, thank you so much for coming, braving.
Uh-oh.
Thank you for braving it and coming out with us old folks. So, anybody have any questions, comments, enthusiasm? Proceed.
Conversations on campus, and if so, are you guys having security?
Yes, so right now, obviously, as we all know how the assassination occurred. It was during a Purvey wrong. On a nationwide level, Turning Point USA has stopped doing Purvey wrongs for this semester, just as a sensitivity issue, as well as also just to preserve the safety of our speakers, as well as our students. So as you guys can see, the tour has continued without Charlie. We've had, dozens of important, amazing speakers in the movement. Tucker Carlson, Michael Knowles, they've all stepped up and have said, I'm going to take over the mic for Charlie, and we're going to make sure this event still goes on. Those events have been moved indoors, just so that we are able to work with campus security on these different campuses and ensure every event is safe. In the future, we will hopefully be bringing back Purvey wrongs, but making them secure. So our biggest priority is the safety of our students, as well as the safety of our speakers, the audience. We do not want anything to occur to anyone again. So
our faculty advisor at the University of Cincinnati is very close friends with the UC police captain there. So anytime we have an event, our faculty advisor lets them know, and they are increasing their presence on campus. They know where we are, they know what time we're meeting, and they are there. And they know about Riley Gaines, they're going to be there. So we've got great relationships with them that we are excited to continue. So at least for UC, we have support from our community.
Do you have any information on the alternative halftime for the Super Bowl?
I think that's huge, actually.
So that's actually a fantastic question. I personally do not, right? I'm not the person that's planning that. I focus on Ohio. Ohio is my nook, my cranny, my home. However, I will say I did work and attend the memorial that we hosted for Charlie in Arizona, and he had a lot of very famous artists attending the memorial, among them Kid Rock, Jason Aldean. So I'd imagine that those figures may or may not make an appearance on the halftime show, but it is a work in progress, and I implore you guys to tune in to our halftime show if you feel like it.
There's nothing to watch in the other one, so yeah.
What TV channel?
So it's going to be live streamed, so you're able to look on Charlie Kirk, the Charlie Kirk Show, as well as Turning Point USA, their YouTube, as well as Rumble, as well as X. Those will be streaming it.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, I did just want to make a quick statement before I hand it over to you, George. Sorry, I know I'm rambling, everyone. I encourage you guys to support these students. It takes a lot of bravery. I mean, how brave and well-spoken these two ladies are, and I have so many chapter leaders that are like them, and they all have so much courage to do what they do on campus. I was a college student once before I was a conservative. I can tell you it was incredibly difficult, and there were a lot of people on campus that were conservative, but were not open about it. We call this closeted conservatism. It's a nasty thing that's bred on college campuses. We want to get rid of it. And I truly do think that the reason why we're seeing so many students come out of the woodwork is because they are now no longer afraid of being openly conservative and open in their beliefs and their values. So please support these ladies. Please support your community. They will do the same to you guys. And they need these college students that like to threaten, that like to make all kinds of nasty comments. They need to know that this community is not liberal. This community is not what they are. This community is grounded in our God-given freedom, and that's what we're going to stand on. And on top of that, if you guys have any questions afterwards, or if you want to get registered for the Riley Gaines event, please come see any one of us. I'll have my laptop to type that up. Oh, sorry, did you have a question?
How do you draw the line between conservative beliefs and how do you handle that with the students?
Like partisanship, like the Republican versus conservative. So conservatism is an ideology, right? Most conservatives tend to be Republican. However, you'll find that some libertarians have conservative ideologies, some independents have conservative ideologies. So we talk about the policy and the beliefs instead of the politicians, if that makes sense. So, for example, Trump's big beautiful bill, that's a policy. We'll be able to discuss it, and we'll be able to discuss what people think of our current president, but we won't be able to say, oh, this is a Trump club on campus, that sort of thing. That's why we have other clubs on campus like College Republicans, but we're having the discussions that are very difficult for a lot of people to have because those are the controversial topics, right? We're the ones that are saying, men cannot be women and vice versa. And that is for some reason, a very inflammatory thing to say. Not sure why, don't know how we got there as a society, but we're working on reversing that and getting back to what it's supposed to be, which is men are men and women are women, and one can't be the other.
Yes.
I've got a question. Charlie was asking at the time he got shot was what your policy is on abortion. Now, if you want to shoot me, go ahead. But what was the answer to that question? How does Turning Point feel toward abortion? Are they for, against it, or what?
Turning Point has been and will always be a pro-life organization, and we stand on that. I think that's it. So I'll give it back to George and so sorry.
Sorry about the folks who can't understand. I'm very interested in the fact that you're putting on a program that teaches how to be great. Could you give us a little thumbnail of some of the things you're going to cover in that meeting? There's probably some folks in here who will benefit as well.
Thank you. I really appreciate your support. So I know for the Bible study part of it, we are going to cover the specific verses, Acts 4:20, which is, for we cannot but speak of what we have seen and what we have heard. And also Romans 10:13 through 15, which says, how can they call on him in whom they have not believed? And how will they believe if they have not heard? And how will they hear unless someone's preaching? And how are they going to preach unless they are sent? So talking about how we are the sent. Right? The Lord has placed every single one of us individually in your workplaces, in your lives, and us on college campuses to boldly proclaim what we know to be true, that there is only one truth, and we should not be ashamed of the fact that there is only one truth. And we're going to try to encourage ourselves as the church in that room that we can talk about that. And it's a good thing to champion that there is one truth. College kids are hungry for authenticity. There is no truth. There is identity confusion, and everyone is telling them that we don't know what's right from wrong. So what we can do is be that beacon of hope to say, actually, we can know that. We know that because of history, science, and the Bible, and they all work together beautifully. And we can use that as a means for us to have all the ammo we need to be brave, because we have all the evidence we need to make any argument we need to if we are advocating for truth. Does that answer your question? Is that okay?
How do you get that articulate that fast? Amazing. Thank you very much. Thank you.